I think you have a panel today, Revival of the Consumer.
Correct.
We're about a year and a half from the reopening of COVID. The revival of travel, outbound travel in particular, hasn't quite gone all the way back. What remain the two sticking points in your view?
Sure. Yeah. When we look at outbound travel, we look at both demand side and the supply side. On the demand side, we already far exceeded 2019 level based on the search volume. On the supply side, we still have two major hurdles. The first one is the visa application. For some regions, it still takes months to get the visa approved. The second thing is, as a result, the flight capacity was only 50 to 60% compared to 2019. However, during the Chinese New Year, I think we saw a huge pickup. So Australia, New Zealand, and even South Africa, which is so far away from China, got lots of customers. So we are very much looking forward to the recovery.
Right, and is it suffice to say, if they remove visa requirements, for example, do you think travel immediately jumps, for example? Give me examples of, and you mentioned South Africa, for example. What are examples of places that have lifted visa restrictions and have seen a flood of tourists coming?
Sure. A couple of regions are doing very well. The first region is the GCC countries in the Middle East.
Okay.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha. We saw huge pickup in this region. And Saudi Arabia is also doing very well. They offer free visa or visa upon arrival. They double the flight capacity. So we're bringing thousands of customers over there. The second region that's doing very well is Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. The Prime Minister in Thailand even went to the airport to welcome customers from China. So all these major measures plays a very important role for the recovery of the outbound customers from China.
Right, and visibility around visa restrictions perhaps isn't as clear as perhaps flight capacity. Do you think flight capacity comes back? Where do you think flight capacity comes back in a big way this year?
Visa needs to be cleared first, but I'm optimistic. We saw good improvements from all the embassies because 3 years is a long time. They have lots of bottleneck, but once it's approved forever. So we're very positive. Hopefully this year we'll see full recovery in outbound travel.
Okay, how about visitors from mainland China to the U.S., for example? People talk about geopolitics. They draw a direct line between the tensions between the two and the perceptions of travel between the two places. What are you seeing influence in future bookings?
Yeah, China is very big. Customers' interest is all over the world. So we still see very strong interest in different countries for different reasons. But obviously, people will take into consideration of how welcome they are in these specific countries. For example, Switzerland used to be not in the top 5 travel destination. But this year, the visa application for Switzerland is shortened to 7 days. So we saw a surge of the travelers into Switzerland because of the policy is right.
Right. And what is your platform seeing as far as future bookings? The next long holiday for mainland China is coming up in May.
Yeah.
What do you see? Like, where are people looking to go?
Yeah. So we have 3 long holidays: Chinese New Year, October 1st, the Golden Week holiday, and the summer holiday. During these long weekend, people tend to go to far away: Australia, New Zealand, Africa, long holiday. And then we also have 3 shorter holidays. The first one is the spring break that's coming next week, and then the second one is the May Labor Day weekend, and the third one is the Dragon Boat Festival. During those holidays, people tend to travel within China or nearby in Asia.
What are you seeing? Are you seeing a pickup in bookings? Say,
yes.
Spring break is coming up, and not spring break, spring holiday, and also May holiday is coming up.
Yes. We have seen ramp up for our business already.
Okay. What about group travel, for example? Because that's also a part of your business, right?
Yes. Group travel is also recovering nicely. The new trend is rather than travel within 50 strangers on a big bus, now people prefer to travel with private tours. So a typical group travel is 2 families, 3 family. They hire a car, hire a van. They have their own family tour guide, a driver. So smaller tour, tailor-made tour is very popular.
Right. And are you tailoring part of the platform, of course, to those changing needs, for example?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We have seen new trends. For example, young people are focusing a lot on entertainment wellness. So happiness and joyfulness is the theme. So we saw huge pickup when there is a Taylor Swift concerts,
Right.
when there is a sports competition. We saw a huge amount of the people travel into the location. The second one is for older generation.
Okay.
That's the first generation who have money, who have time. So the cruise industry is also blooming for these customers. Now the third path is the high net worth. So luxury hotels gets lots of business as well.
I'm curious because you mentioned China's a big place, right? Overall, the economy doesn't seem to be doing as well as it should be. Yet travel, to your point, seems to be well and good. Help me understand the disconnect between the two.
Yeah, China is very big, so it really depends on the line of the business we're talking about.
Okay.
Certain business might have some pressure, but if you look at travel, it's doing very well.
Yeah.
Entertainment, concerts, music, cinema, restaurants, those are doing very well. Wellness are doing very well. So
Right.
it really depends on what segment you're looking into.
Okay. Well, what's the most expensive thing I can get on your platform?
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost me?
The flagship tour we sell costs about 200,000 USD per person per trip.
$200,000 US.
Correct.
What
and
do I
guess
get from
what? We charter a flight from Singapore Airlines.
Okay.
We bring customers to different festivals. So, for example, Carnival in Brazil, concerts in certain area. We try to time it so that the customers get the best out of this tour. We also bring customers to the landmark hotels where they have wonderful views, wonderful festivals
Okay.
during their visit.
200,000. It's not for me. Maybe Yvonne can afford that, but she'll comment in a moment. Just on the business this year, I think revenues doubled last year. It was a good year for you guys. 44 billion renminbi, if I'm not mistaken. Analysts see 51 billion this year and maybe 60 billion in 2025. Do you think that runway is achievable?
Yeah, we believe in the long run, travel is an evergreen industry. So we look at the GDP growth rate for about 4 to 5%, for example, and travel normally can double that because the population who can afford to travel normally makes more money, and we will be able to outpace the travel industry. So somewhere between 15 to 20% CAGR is achievable.